After Outlander received massive success, Starz announced that it would expand the show even further based on Diana Gabaldon's book. We can expect many spin-offs to come, so it's no wonder that fans are curious if we'll get one for the beloved character of Lord John Grey. Today, we'll talk about the possibility and what the author has to say about it. Keep watching. First, let's see what Oscar Kennedy feels about starring in a spin-off. Diana Gabaldon has created a rich universe for Outlander and has written 6 novellas and 3 novels just about Lord Grey alone. That's definitely enough material to get a spin-off show going for the character. If you don't already know, the stories in the book revolve around his ability to solve crimes as a soldier. The younger version of Lord John Grey is played by Oscar Kennedy. You must remember him from season 2 in episode Je suis preste. He was a teenager that had found Jamie with Claire and had assumed she was with him against her will. In the end, however, they make him give up sensitive military information so it could help the Jacobite cause. The animosity didn't last long, and years later, Lord John and Jamie became friends. Along the way, he also falls in love with Jamie, but that ship never sails, as we already know. Actor Oscar Kennedy was on the show for a few days, but he had a lot of fun. Looking back, he admitted being on the show was scary for a 16-year-old because it was so big. The Outlander team, however, was so welcoming and friendly to the actor that it left a lasting impression on him. So naturally, he's open to the idea of a prequel. The actor also expressed his desire to return to Outlander in a flashback scene if the story allows for it. Next, here's what Kennedy thought when he first auditioned for William Grey. Oscar said he knew the character's real identity when auditioning for the role. Describing his audition process, Kennedy said the script he sent for his part had some of William Grey's story actually mentioned. The details made him think that the character would be a player later on in the series, but he had no idea Lord John Grey would end up being one of the most prominent characters on the show, not to mention an absolute fan favorite. Moving on, here's what Diana Gabaldon has to say about a prequel featuring Lord John Grey's story. While talking at New York Comic-Con, Diana Gabaldon shared an update. She says so far little can be said of this prequel happening because people who produce Outlander don't seem interested at the moment. She clarified that by her statement, she doesn't mean Meryl Davis, the show's producer, or Matthew B. Roberts, the showrunner. Her statement is instead directed towards Sony because the company isn't yet interested in producing a prequel. She offers hope, saying these situations often change relatively fast, so it shouldn't take long for a possible prequel to be on the table. Gabaldon's words make one thing very clear: the future of a possible Lord John Grey series depends on how bad fans want it to happen. If the audience had a passionate desire for a fully fledged show to be made, the higher-ups will simply comply. So far, we're already getting one prequel, Blood of My Blood. The show will tell the forbidden love story of Jamie Fraser's parents, Brian and Ellen MacKenzie. We can only hope that more prequels and spin-offs will come. Keep watching to know what's in store for us in Blood of My Blood. Moving on, here's everything we know of Blood of My Blood. Blood of My Blood doesn't have a release date yet because the show is still in its infancy. Right now, things are being prepared in the writer's room. Since the team has only shortly been assembled, dates and such are afterthought. For now, this is what we know about the show's storyline. In the past, Outlander has sometimes revealed details about the romance between Ellen and Brian, who are parents to Jamie Fraser. The most we know was that the two had to hide their love so that they could be happy. Ellen was Colum and Dougal MacKenzie's sister. You must already know the brothers from season 1, but you might not know that Dougal was closer to his sister. Their father Jacob loved her so much that he refused to set an arranged marriage for her, despite it being a custom at the time. Things escalated when Jacob passed away. It left Colum and Dougal in a hurry to marry their sister off to Malcolm Grant so that there could be peace between the clans. Ellen wasn't such a big fan of the idea, so she made an offending comment to her husband-to-be and made him flee Castle Leoch in a fury. She then defied her brothers and eloped with Brian. They kept their love a secret until the couple discovered they were pregnant. Next, does Ellen reunite with her brothers again? After Ellen was pregnant with her first child, she returned to Castle Leoch because her brothers could no longer marry her off. Since she was happy and would give birth soon, her brothers reluctantly accepted them as a couple. Brian and Ellen then moved into Lallybroch. Ellen gave birth to 4 children: William, Jenny, Jamie, and Robert. We already met Jenny in Outlander, but here's what happened to Jamie's 2 brothers. Sadly, only at age 11, their brother William died of smallpox. Jamie was heartbroken by his older brother's death and reluctantly had to become the next heir of Lallybroch. The love story of Ellen and Brian came to a tragic end when Ellen died, birthing her youngest son, Robert. The mother and son could not survive the pregnancy and left their family devastated. In the Outlander novels, Ellen holds particular importance to the family. A portrait of Jamie's mother still hangs in the Lallybroch residence, while Jamie saves his mother's pearls for his wife, Claire. The family family pearls became a prized heirloom and are there passed on to Brianna MacKenzie, so Ellen's memory goes on through Jamie and Jenny. Now, let's discuss whether Catriona Balfe and Sam Heughan will be in the Outlander prequel series. Everything is currently in its early stages, and so are the scripts of the story. While there's no certainty around who will be cast in the show, Heughan and Balfe might not be on it. We know that's not the best news, but to bear with us, the Outlander actors wouldn't make sense in the show because the story happens way before the timeline of Outlander. This story began before Jamie was even born, so Claire would certainly not be on the show. Talking about Blood of My Blood, Heughan expressed his excitement, saying he wants to see the story himself so he can know whether it would make sense for him to be in it. He thinks there might be a possibility of playing a younger version of himself. The writer's room for Blood of My Blood will be led by Matthew B. Roberts, so we know the show is in good hands. Next, this is what we know of the new cast in the upcoming prequel. Meryl Davis and Ronald D. Moore will be executive producers on Blood of My Blood. Diana Gabaldon will also rightfully be involved in the show. She's currently working on a novel that will serve as a base for Blood of My Blood. This will mainly focus on Brian and Ellen and help the show write the story about them. So far, we know that Ellen looks a lot like her granddaughter Brianna. She, like her granddaughter, is seen as tall, fair-skinned, and has beautiful red hair. This will be something the casting team will actively look for when finding an actress for the role. Ellen's husband Brian was first seen in Outlander Season 1, but since Blood of My Blood takes place before Outlander, they're likely to hire someone younger to play the part. Younger versions of Dougal and Colin will also be expected on the show. Speaking of the prequel, Graham McTavish, the actor who played Douglas Mackenzie, says he's not sure if he'll be a part of the prequel. There's a limit to how young they can make him look, so he definitely can't play a teenager, but he thinks nothing is certain for now. We just might see him again if the show ends up needing an older Douglas. Finally, does the new prequel mean an end for Outlander? While fans were overjoyed to know that there would be a prequel to Outlander, they couldn't help but wonder what it would mean for the end of Outlander itself. The end of the favorite series is a hard topic to face for fans, but a spin-off doesn't necessarily mean the original series will end. The Outlander prequel, Blood of My Blood, does, however, make the question of the series' future unavoidable. The original show is currently in the works with its 7th season. The season is said to be big, which raises suspicions about whether they will lead to a goodbye. Some actors on Outlander have expressed in interviews that they might want to pursue other challenges, hinting that the end might be around the corner. However, Matthew B. Roberts, producer of the show, debunked these wild suspicions by tweeting that a beginning doesn't mean goodbye. We think it's reason enough for us to be hopeful. We don't have to see our favorite show end just yet. But my friends, that's a wrap for today's video. Could there be a possible sequel for Lord John Grey? Make sure to let us know in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button for more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.